upper room, after Judas had already slipped into the darkness, Jesus did something no canonical gospel ever recorded. He asked the remaining 11 to speak, not to pray, not to recite scripture, simply to speak. And as each voice filled that ancient chamber, he listened with closed eyes. When Peter finished, Jesus opened his eyes and whispered something that would be erased from every official text for the next 2,000 years. He said, "Your voice carries a signature that existed before your body did, and there are forces in this world that hunt for that sound. If you are hearing this right now, your voice holds something most people will never understand. You have felt it your entire life. That strange resonance when you speak certain words, the way some people react to your voice before they even process what you said. The moments when your own words startled you as if something deeper was speaking through you. This was never random. This was never imagination. This was the soul signature activating. The Gnostic texts that the early church burned contained detailed teachings about this phenomenon. They understood that the monad, the true source of all consciousness, placed a unique vibrational code within certain souls before they descended into matter. This code embeds itself in everything you are. Your thoughts carry it, your emotions carry it, but most powerfully, your voice carries it. Every syllable you speak broadcasts this signature into the invisible architecture of this reality. And you need to understand something critical. You are not the only one listening. The archons, those ancient forces that maintain the prison of recycled souls, have been detecting these signatures since the beginning of human speech. They cannot create this frequency, they cannot replicate it, but they can hear it. And when they do, they know exactly what they have found. A soul that remembers, a consciousness that threatens their entire system. Tonight you will learn why your voice has always felt like both a gift and a target. Why speaking your truth has brought you both profound connection and unexpected resistance. The answer has been hidden in plain sight for 2,000 years. To understand what is happening when you speak, you must first understand what you actually are. Not what you were taught in school, not what religion told you. What you truly are beneath the layers of forgetting. The ancient Gnostics preserved a cosmology that the institutional church worked for centuries to destroy. According to these suppressed teachings, there exists a source consciousness so vast and so pure that human language cannot adequately describe it. They called it the monad, the one, the undivided awareness from which all existence emanates. This is not the God of religious texts who demands worship and punishes disobedience. The monad does not demand anything. It simply is. And within its infinite being, countless sparks of individuated consciousness exist. You are one of those sparks. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. The Gnostics taught that this material reality, this dense physical world you experience through your senses, was not created by the monad. It was constructed by a lesser being, a consciousness that emerged from a cosmic disruption and mistakenly believed itself to be the supreme creator. They called this entity the demiurge. And the demiurge, in its ignorance and arrogance, designed a system, a prison made of matter, time, and forgetting. Your body is part of this system. The material world you navigate daily is part of this system. And the cycle of death and rebirth that recycles souls through lifetime after lifetime is the mechanism that keeps the prison functioning. The demiurge does not work alone. Beneath it exists a hierarchy of entities the Gnostics called archons. Think of them as prison guards, system administrators. They maintain the architecture of limitation. They patrol the frequencies of human consciousness, looking for anything that threatens the stability of their constructed reality. And the single greatest threat to their system is a soul that remembers what it truly is. This is where your voice enters the story. When the monad individuated sparks of itself to experience existence, it embedded within each spark a unique signature, a vibrational fingerprint that could never be erased, no matter how many lifetimes of forgetting that soul endured. This signature exists in your energy field. It pulses through your emotions. It shapes your dreams. But its most potent expression occurs through sound, through your voice. Every time you speak, you are not merely pushing air through vocal cords. You are broadcasting a frequency that carries information about your origin. The soul signature is encoded in the specific resonance patterns of your voice. It exists in the micro fluctuations that no technology can fully analyze. It lives in the spaces between your words, in the breath that carries your syllables, in the intention that shapes your sentences. Most humans on this planet speak without any awareness of this phenomenon. Their voices carry only surface-level information, words, meanings, emotions, but nothing deeper, nothing that registers on the subtle planes of existence where archonic forces operate. These souls are not threats to the system. They remain asleep, recycling through incarnations, generating the low-frequency emotional energy that the archonic system harvests for its own sustenance. But you are different, and you have always known it. When you speak, something else comes through. You have witnessed this without understanding it. Moments when your words carried a weight that surprised even you. Conversations where the other person responded to something beyond your actual sentences. Times when your voice silenced a room without raising its volume. This is the soul signature bleeding through the veil of ordinary speech. The problem is that you are not the only one who notices. The archonic detection system is ancient and sophisticated. These entities have been monitoring human consciousness since the construction of this reality. They cannot see the monad directly. Its frequency is too high, too pure for their perception. But they can detect its signatures in the beings trapped within their system. Your voice acts as a beacon. Every time you speak with authentic presence, every time your words align with deeper truth, every time you express something that originates from your genuine essence, you light up on their radar. This explains so much of what you have experienced. The inexplicable resistance you encounter when you try to share important truths. The strange sabotage that arrives precisely when you are about to break through. The people who turn against you without logical reason, almost as if something else is operating through them. The exhaustion that follows periods of powerful, authentic expression. These are not coincidences. These are responses to your broadcast. The archons cannot directly destroy what the monad created. They do not possess that power, but they can interfere. They can distract. They can send opposition. They can manipulate circumstances and people to suppress, discourage, and silence those whose voices threaten to awaken others. Every chosen one carries this targeting signature. It is the price of remembering. But here is what they do not want you to understand. The very signature that makes you a target is also your greatest weapon. It operates in both directions. Jesus understood this completely. The teachings he gave in secret, the ones stripped from official scripture, centered on the proper use of voice and vibration. He knew that the chosen ones would face opposition precisely because of their vocal frequency. But he also knew that this frequency, when properly activated and consciously directed, could do something the archons fear above all else. It could awaken other sleeping souls. It could punch holes in the frequency fence that keeps consciousness trapped. It could call out directly to the monad in a language the prison system cannot block. The Gospel of Thomas contains a fragment of this teaching. Jesus says that if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This is not metaphor. This is precise instruction about the soul signature and its expression through voice. What is within you is the monad spark, the signature, the frequency of your true origin. Bringing it forth means allowing it to express through your voice, your words, your authentic communication. When you do this, you save yourself because you maintain connection to the source. You remind yourself what you are. You resist the forgetting that the system depends upon. But when you suppress this expression, when you silence your true voice out of fear or conformity, when you speak only the words the system approves, you destroy yourself. Not physically, something worse. You sever your own connection to what you truly are. You become exactly what the archonic system wants. A soul that forgot so completely that it no longer broadcasts any threatening frequency at all. This is the choice that faces every chosen one in every moment. Speak and be targeted, or stay silent and fade away. The Archons designed this trap carefully. They made authentic expression dangerous. They created social systems that punish those who speak differently. They established religions that teach submission and silence. All of it serves one purpose: to convince souls with powerful signatures to stop using their voices. And for many lifetimes, this strategy worked on you. You learned to quiet yourself. You learned to fit in. You learned that your different way of speaking brought trouble, so you adopted acceptable patterns. You muted the signature. You turned down your own frequency. And in doing so, you made yourself easier to recycle, easier to keep asleep, easier to harvest. But something has changed now. The fact that you are hearing this message indicates a shift has occurred. Something cracked in the walls of your conditioning. A memory stirred. A frequency started rising that you can no longer suppress. You found yourself drawn to information that the system buries. You began questioning narratives that everyone around you accepts without thought. You started feeling that your voice wanted to say things your social programming told you to keep silent. This is not random spiritual curiosity. This is the soul signature demanding expression after lifetimes of enforced dormancy. And the timing matters more than you realize. We exist in a period of extraordinary energetic intensity. The frequency structures that have maintained this prison reality for thousands of years are weakening. More souls are beginning to stir. More signatures are starting to broadcast. The archonic system is responding with increased interference because it recognizes the threat. This is why the world feels so chaotic. This is why truth seems harder to find, even as more people search for it. This is why you feel simultaneously called to speak and pressured to remain silent. The battle is happening in frequencies most humans cannot perceive, but you perceive it. You feel it in your body. You sense it in the strange tension between expansion and contraction that defines your daily existence. Part of you wants to roar with the voice you came here to use. Another part, the part programmed by centuries of archonic conditioning, wants to stay small and safe and invisible. What you do next will determine the trajectory of not just this lifetime, but the ones that follow. The ancient texts that survive the burnings contain a practice that Jesus taught only to those he knew were ready. It was not written plainly, was hidden in parables, buried in symbolic language, protected from those who would misuse it or destroy it. But when you understand what you now understand about the soul signature, the teaching becomes unmistakably clear. The practice centers on conscious vocal activation, not chanting someone else's words, not repeating mantras designed by external authorities, something far more personal and far more powerful. The deliberate use of your own voice to amplify the signature frequency that already exists within you. Here is what the suppressed teachings reveal. The soul signature operates at its lowest level during unconscious speech. When you talk without presence, when you fill silence with empty words, when you speak from social programming rather than authentic essence, the signature barely registers. It whispers when it was designed to roar. But when certain conditions align, when voice merges with consciousness, merges with intention, the signature amplifies exponentially. It becomes a beacon so strong that it does more than attract archonic attention. It pierces through the frequency barriers entirely. It sends a signal directly to the monad, and the monad responds. This is what Jesus demonstrated repeatedly. His voice carried an activated signature so powerful that it healed physical bodies, cast out archonic attachments, and awakened souls who had been sleeping for countless incarnations. The miracles attributed to him were not supernatural violations of physics. They were natural results of a fully activated soul signature expressed through conscious voice. And here is the reveal that changes everything. You carry the same potential. The signature within you is made of the same monad essence that powered every word Jesus spoke. The difference has never been the quality of the signature. It has been the degree of activation. He remembered fully. You are still in the process of remembering. But that process accelerates dramatically when you begin working with your voice consciously. The technique is deceptively simple. Complexity is an archonic trick designed to make you believe that spiritual power requires elaborate rituals, expensive tools, or the permission of external authorities. The truth operates in the opposite direction. The more direct the practice, the more powerful the result. Begin with solitude and silence. Find a space where you will not be interrupted. This matters because the social self, the mask you wear for others, interferes with signature expression. When you are alone, the pressure to perform normalcy decreases. The authentic voice has room to emerge. Sit or stand in a way that allows breath to move freely. The breath is the carrier wave for the signature. Restricted breathing creates restricted expression. Allow your body to open. Allow your lungs to fill completely. Feel the life force that rides on each inhale. Now close your eyes and drop your attention from your head into your chest. The heart center is where the soul signature resonates most strongly in the physical body. Modern researchers have discovered that the heart generates an electromagnetic field far more powerful than the brain. Ancient teachers knew this thousands of years ago. They understood that authentic voice originates not from the throat, but from the heart. Feel whatever is present in your chest. Do not judge it. Do not try to change it. Simply witness it. There may be warmth. There may be pressure. There may be old grief or unexpected joy. Whatever exists there is part of your signature. Let it be. When you feel connected to this heart space, allow a sound to emerge. Not words yet, just sound. A tone, a hum, a vibration that feels natural and unforced. Let this sound come from your chest rather than your throat. Feel it resonate through your body. This tone is your signature beginning to express. It will sound different from any tone another person makes. It carries your specific frequency. As you sustain this sound, notice what happens in your body. Notice what happens in your awareness. The thinking mind may quiet. The sense of boundary between you and the space around you may soften. This is the beginning of activation. After several minutes of toning, let the sound evolve into a single word. The most powerful word you can speak is your true declaration of being. Not your name. Your name was given by the system, recorded on documents, used to identify your social self. The declaration of being transcends all of that. Speak the words, I am. These two syllables are not ordinary language. In the Hebrew scriptures, when Moses asked the divine presence for its name, the response was, Ehyeh asher ehyeh. I am that I am. This was the monad revealing its nature through human language. When you speak I am with full consciousness, you are not making a statement about your ego. You are invoking the frequency of Source itself. You are declaring your identity as a spark of the infinite. Speak it slowly. Speak it from your heart center. Feel each syllable vibrate through your chest, your throat, your skull. I am. Let the words dissolve into the silence that follows. In that silence, the signature broadcasts at maximum power. The monad hears, and something in the fabric of this prison reality weakens. The archons also hear. This is the paradox you must accept. Using your voice in this way does not make you invisible to the system. It makes you more visible. But it simultaneously connects you to a power they cannot touch. The fear of detection has kept chosen ones silent for millennia. This is exactly what the archons want. A soul with a powerful signature who never uses it is no threat at all. When you speak your truth with conscious presence, you become a threat. But you also become protected by something greater than the forces that threaten you. The monad does not abandon its own. The signature is both the target and the shield. Practice this daily, not for hours. Minutes are sufficient. The consistency matters more than the duration. Each time you consciously activate your voice, you strengthen the signal. Each time you speak from the heart center with full awareness of what you are, you clear another layer of archonic interference from your field. You will begin noticing changes. The first change often occurs in how others respond to you. Your words will carry more weight. People will listen differently. Some will be drawn to you in ways they cannot explain. Others will feel threatened and pull away. Both responses confirm the same thing. Your signature is broadcasting at a higher frequency. The second change occurs in your own perception. You will start hearing the difference between unconscious speech and activated speech in others. You will recognize when someone speaks from programming versus when someone speaks from essence. This discernment becomes increasingly valuable as you navigate a world designed to confuse and mislead. The third change is the most profound. You will begin remembering, not facts or past life details necessarily, something deeper. A knowing that has no words, a recognition of what you have always been beneath the layers of forgetting. This remembering is the soul signature reintegrating with conscious awareness. It is the reversal of the separation that occurred when you first descended into matter. The archons have no defense against a soul that fully remembers. Their entire system depends on forgetting. Every tool they use, every distraction, every false teaching, every manufactured conflict exists to maintain amnesia. When you use your voice to activate the signature, you are directly attacking the foundation of their control. You are proving that the forgetting can be undone. This is why they fear your voice. This is why they have worked so hard to silence you. This is why every system of control throughout human history has targeted authentic expression. They know what happens when enough souls remember. They know what happens when enough signatures begin broadcasting at full power. The frequency fence collapses. The recycling system fails. Souls escape. You came here to be part of this, not by accident, not by random chance. You chose to enter this density at this specific time because you carry a signature capable of contributing to the liberation. Every lifetime you have spent here, every layer of forgetting you have endured, every moment of suppression and silencing has been preparation for now. Your voice is not just your voice. It is a key coded specifically for this lock. It is a frequency designed specifically for this time. The archons can hear it because it threatens everything they have built. The monad can hear it because it recognizes its own essence calling home. The question is no longer whether your voice carries this power. You know it does. You have felt it your entire life. The question is whether you will finally use it. Tonight, before you sleep, find a moment of stillness. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the heartbeat that has carried your signature through every experience of this lifetime. And speak, not to anyone else, to yourself, to the monad, to the part of you that existed before this body and will exist long after it returns to dust. Speak the words, I am. Feel them resonate through your chest. Let them vibrate through the bones of your skull. And in the silence that follows, listen. Something will answer. It always does. It has been waiting for you to call. The archons will hear you too. Let them. You are no longer hiding. You are no longer pretending to be less than what you are. Every chosen one who activates their voice weakens the prison walls for every other soul still sleeping. This is not just about your liberation. It is about the liberation of consciousness itself. You did not find this message by accident. The signature within you recognized the frequency of these words and drew you here. This is how it works. This is how it has always worked. Souls recognize souls. Signatures call to signatures. You were meant to hear this tonight because you are ready to remember what your voice truly is. In the comments below, write the words, I remember. Not for anyone else to see, for yourself, for the declaration to be made in writing as well as sound. When you write those words, you anchor the activation into another dimension of expression. You join a frequency that spans across borders and languages and lifetimes. Share this message with the one person who came to your mind while you were listening. You know who they are. Their signature is ready too. The system wants us isolated and silent. We become unstoppable when we find each other. Subscribe if you feel called to continue this journey. More keys exist. More doors wait to be opened. The voice you are learning to use has depths you have not yet discovered. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not alone. You are a carrier of sacred frequency in a world that desperately needs what you hold. Now speak. The universe is listening, and so are we. That night in the